There you are again. Great to see you. Thanks for joining me. Plenty of Elvis fun on the way for you. Hello, hello, hello. 1 minute early as well, somebody said. Am I early? I think it's about half past the hour. I just wanted to make sure everything was working. And I believe it is, because as I can see, there's a load of people saying, hello, Steve. So yes, hello to you. Welcome to Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel. And if you don't know, if this is your first time, then basically what it is this channel is all about Elvis. It's devoted to keeping his memory and his legacy alive. And as far as I'm concerned, with this channel, nothing else matters. It's just Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. It's done in his name, in his memory. And let's not forget that. So, yes, I don't really know what else to say apart from what is coming up. What is coming up is, as you can see on the screen, this week's topic is Elvis movies, a case for the defense. And basically what it is we all know that Elvis's movies get a really, really bad press. You know, people will say, oh, those beach movies, and they were just fluff and they were just terrible and all the soundtracks was terrible and all this and all that. Well, I want to make a case for their defense, and I also would be interested in hearing from you as well. You can call in on Discord. You can call in on, let's have a look. Here we go. I'll move this as well so that I can just show you. You can also call in on WhatsApp. There's the telephone number. Not yet, of course, after the topic. You can call in on Instagram and Facebook Messenger as well, if you have me as a friend. So, but we'll come to that later. So that's the main topic. Of course, there will be things like the underrated Elvis song, This Day in Elvis History. It's a cracker. It's a real cracker this week, because we all know what happened on this day down through the years, but one particular year, 1958. Need I say more? A live poll. I will be asking you a question. A song I wish Elvis had recorded. Photoshop of the week. Oh, they're not great. Caption this photo. We always have a lot of fun with that. Smoking hot photo. Another smoking hot photo. In fact, I've forgotten what it is, actually. So it'll be a surprise for me as well. I'd like to say a big thank you, of course, to everybody that supports this channel, because at the end of the day, it's not me you're supporting, it's Elvis. So any support that you give is for Elvis. And there's Salam. Hi, Salam. I haven't seen your name for a while. I'm glad to see you here. Lily Ramos, good to see you here as well. Sally Billing. And everybody else that's there. You know who you are. We had a little bit of fun with Elvis Mug of the Week last week, so I'm going to show you another one of my Elvis mugs later on, and you can tell me what you think. But without further ado, what I'm going to say is we're going to do the Fan of the Month quiz, and it ties in with the topic being, of course, Elvis movies, and Fan of the Month is questions about his movies. Now, I should say this more often, actually. Oh, and I've got a new jingle. I've resurrected a jingle for the quiz. So whoever gets the question right, I give them this jingle, and it's an old one that I used a few months back, and I've resurrected it. But I should say this more often. Even if you're watching on catch up, play along and see how you do. Okay, you can't win a particular prize, unfortunately, because it has to be somebody who is watching live, of course. because I write down their name. But just for fun, play along if you're watching on catch up and see how many of the 6 you get. So, and this is the way it works. I'm going to show you a screen grab from an Elvis movie, and you've got to name the movie. It's as simple as that. Now, I don't see Chris actually in the chat. She told me earlier on that she wasn't feeling the best and she'd try and make it. So I understand, Chris, if you couldn't make it, because if you're feeling poorly, then probably the last thing you want to be doing is moderating a quiz. So I'll try and moderate it myself and see who is the first name to get it right. And maybe you can help me as well. Right, so this is the first one, and it's this one. Which movie is this screen grab from? There you are. Dave. Hi, Dave. Yes, if you could help, it would be much appreciated. Thanks very much, Dave. Okay, so Dylan is saying Wild in the Country. Wild in the Country. But a lot of people are saying Flaming Star. Maxine B says Love Me Tender. No, in fact, Love Me Tender was in black and white. So the color screen grab is a little bit of a giveaway. So I need to just look to see, because it is Flaming Star. I just need to see who the first person was that said Flaming Star. Okay. I think it was Vincenzo, just after Streamlabs and just before Duncan said Wild in the Country. So I did actually fox a few people there, actually, because I did see some Wild in the Countries and some Love Me Tenders. But it is Vincenzo. And Vincenzo, you actually get the first bite of this resurrected jingle. Remember me using this a while back? Well, here it is again.
That ain't tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Oh, yes. That ain't tactics, honey. That's just the beast in me. From a movie. Yes, we're continuing the movie theme as much as we can through this show. From Jailhouse Rock. Right. Salam says that's the best jingle. Yeah, it was a very popular one, wasn't it? And there was another one as well. I did 29 pictures like that. There was another one. So, yes, here we go. On number 2. So that was from Flaming Star. And this one. Which movie is this from? This screen grab. Now, what do you think? Oh, Martha says, congratulations, Vincenzo. Oh, somebody's in there very quick. Duncan is also in there very, very quick. Elizabeth. Oh, yes. Vincenzo. Yeah. Easy come, easy go. Yes, it's just after the opening credits when they're kind of pulling into the dock. Karen says, girls. Yes, I can see why you're saying that, actually, Karen. But no, it is easy come, easy go. And Dave has confirmed it. And I saw this person's name first as well. And it's Dylan. Dylan, you get the resurrected jingle.
That ain't tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
And Dylan was the winner of last month's Fan of the Month quiz. And I've ordered his prize, and it's on its way. And what he picked was Elvis on Tour Blu-ray. So I hope you enjoy that, Dylan. I really do. So easy come, easy go is number 2. Number 3. I think a lot of people will get this. Dave will have to keep a sharp lookout for this. Here we go. What movie is that? Feeling really mighty low. No. Okay. It's that man again, I believe. Dylan, by the looks of it. because Ginger O'Neill says, I'm left out of this one. I can't see. Oh, sorry about that. Right. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Frankie and Johnny. Dolores Petrie is saying Fun in Acapulco. Paul says Fun in Acapulco as well. No, it's actually Frankie and Johnny, actually. And it was Dylan. Yeah. Dylan, you are going like a storm again tonight.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
All right. So that was Frankie and Johnny. 3 down, 3 to go. And this one could nearly be a smoking hot picture, actually. But anyway, this is it. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people with this. A lot of people getting this right. Lily says, Dylan, you're on fire. He certainly is, Lily. GI Blues. I can see why some are saying GI Blues. The shower scene. Yeah, it could be a cold shower photograph. Yeah. Okay, well, the answer is live a little, love a little. And I just need to see who said that. And I think it's Tracy Heenan. Live a little, love a little. Just pipped at the post. Salam, you got it right. Live a little, love a little. But Tracy was just in before you. So let's have a look if we can see. Karen says, oh, I give up. Yeah, Vincenzo and Dave are both confirming Tracy. Well done, Tracy. Tracy, Elvis is going to tell you this.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Right. So, number 5. That's when he's telling Bernice to he doesn't want his back scrubbed. Right, here we go. I think a lot of people will get this as well because it's Elvis is wearing something quite distinctive in this scene. What movie is this? Well done, Pat. Well done, Shirley. Yes, live a little, love a little. And if you are watching this on playback, rewatch, replay, whatever you want to call it, play along, see how you get on. Manfred Boomer says spin out. No, it's not spin out. Karen says roustabout. Oh, I can see why you're saying roustabout. Yes. Yeah. But it is Girl Happy. And I think it's when he's singing Spring Fever as well. So, and Paul says clam bake. Deb H loves Elvis, fun in Acapulco. Now, I do believe that with it being Girl Happy, my goodness me, it can't be that man again. Yeah, Sally says, Dylan is so fast. Dylan is on... Yes, he is. He's got a hat trick. Yeah. Dylan has a hat trick, which is 3. For people that don't know what a hat trick is, if you're not a sporty person. Right, Dylan.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Is there anybody that can stop Dylan getting this 4th one? Because he's in... that's luck, folks. Pure luck. Right, okay. Well, this one here, then. Try this one for size. The 6th and final one this week is this one. And Elvis looks like he's actually sucking on a lemon there or something. I thought Dylan was the Grand Master of jumpsuits, but he's going to turn out to be the Grand Master of movies in a minute. Yeah, I think he's got it. Vincenzo says Paradise and Wine Style. Elizabeth, yeah. Rachel, there's a whole load of Paradise and Wine Styles there, and it's the part where he's absolutely busting himself laughing at the dogs barking. You can just see the dog's head actually at the bottom right of the shot. Dylan says it's either Dog's Life or Dating. Well, it's actually Dog's Life. And he's done it, folks. As far as I know, it was Dylan again. Well done, Dylan. You're on course for another win by the looks of it. I'm going to have to try and think of a fan of the month subject for next week, the 31st, to try and test young Dylan, because Dylan got 1, 2, 3, 4. Vincenzo got 1, and Tracy. So congratulations to Dylan, Tracy, and Vincenzo for being the first and getting this.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
By the way, next week we're back on track for the same times for the US as normal. The last 3 weeks I've been an hour. Have I been an hour later? No jumpsuits or movies next week. Correct, Dave. But well done to everybody. I mean, you know, a lot of the people got the answers right. It was just that Dylan was just the fastest, I suppose. You must be able to type very fast, Dylan. Yeah. So as I was saying, next week we're back to the normal times again. Maybe somebody could tell me, am I an hour later in the US at the moment? I think I am. Excuse me. I think I am an hour later. And if that's the case, yeah, Brent says later, I will be back to the normal time next week. It's just that the US moved their clocks forward, I think 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. So one more week, this time next week, back to normal. But I will let you know by the normal methods of posting on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on here on the community tab. Right, so yeah, poor Elvis there is got like a sucked lemon face there, hasn't he? And it was Paradise Hawaiian Style, A Dog's Life. Right, so here we go. This is Paul says an hour later in California. I think it's an hour later everywhere, believe it or not. So this is basically it. Elvis movies, a case for the defense. And let's get some pictures going as well at the same time for you to have a look at while I tell you what I'm on about. Elvis starred, as we know, in 31 feature films in his acting career. Not every single one was a critical darling. So a lot of the critics sort of panned them. But many did well at the box office, giving him the status of one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Elvis's movies earned $284 million worldwide, and a few earned Elvis a very good payday. Now, $284 million in today's money is $2.4 billion. Okay, so just remember that when people say, you know, those silly beach movies, he never made a good movie and nobody went to see them. Well, $2.4 billion worth of people went to see them. So let's just go through a couple of them. Jailhouse Rock made $4 million. While the movie received mixed reviews from critics, it was a hit with audiences, which matter. Nobody ever raised as far as I'm concerned, nobody ever raised a monument to a critic anyway, and was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress. Blue Hawaii, $4.2 million. Hawaii became a popular location for Elvis as he filmed 3 movies there. The first of these was Blue Hawaii, a musical romantic comedy where Elvis portrayed a soldier returning to Hawaii for fun in the sun and plenty of relationship drama. It's another box office hit that the critics didn't love, but it had a fantastic soundtrack. It featured the song Can't Help Falling in Love, which peaked at number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Then we have G.I. Blues, $4.3 million. G.I. Blues is a 1960 American musical comedy starring Elvis and Juliette Prowse. The film is directed by Norman Taurog and stars Elvis as a U.S. Army specialist with a budding singing career. Reviews were mixed, but audiences turned out to see Prowse and Elvis co-star in a movie. Love Me Tender, which was Elvis's first feature film, and the only one where he didn't receive top billing. I think it was introducing Elvis, wasn't it, on the opening credits? Quite rightly. I mean, he was an unknown entity. Okay, he was hot by the time they made Love Me Tender, but he was still, a relative newcomer. However, Elvis was the selling point for the film, and the 20th Century Fox marketed the movie around the Memphis singer. The movie was originally going to be titled The Reno Brothers, but was later changed when advanced sales for Elvis's Love Me Tender hit 1 million. The title was altered to bank off the song's success. Viva Las Vegas. Yes, Elvis's most successful movie, grossing $9.4 million. And that's in 1964, folks. You know what I mean? I mean, don't forget, $9.4 million doesn't sound like a lot grossing today, but you convert that and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's about 100 million, actually. So there you go. Viva Las Vegas is often regarded as one of Elvis's best movies by audiences and critics. And directed by George Sidney, the film stars Elvis as a race car driver who must participate in Las Vegas talent show to pay for his car's new engine. The musical, of course, also starred Anne Margaret. And Viva Las Vegas was a hit at movie theaters, and it was the 14th highest grossing film of 1964. Many critics praised the on-screen chemistry between Anne Margaret and Elvis. However, the chemistry was not just acting, as the pair had an affair around the time of filming, as we know. The romantic musical garnered almost $10 million for MGM, so the studio had no problem creating some drama around it. And as I said, 10 million in today's money is about 100 million. Just over $100 million, actually. Let's go through just a couple of others. Flaming Star, 2 million. Wild in the Country, 2.5 million, as did Kid Galahad. Girls, 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 3.5 million. Tickle Me, this is quite surprising, 5 million. But you can see where it was going, because Easy Come, Easy Go only did 1.9 million, but the budget was 2 million, so it didn't quite break even. Speedway, 2 million. The budget was 3 million. So you can see kind of why by the time Easy Come, Easy Go, Speedway, Clam Bake and all those had come round, Parker realised that the game was up, and we all know what way it went. It went back to live appearances and touring America. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that topic. What do you think about Elvis's movies? Why do you think that people still say, oh, those silly beach movies, and oh, he never made a good good movie? Really, I'm looking for your case for the defense of Elvis movies. Now, I mean, I know we're biased because we're Elvis fans, but try and just put a good case across for why it's unfair to say those things about Elvis movies. I am going to do a poll as well about Elvis's movies, and it's very, very simple because there are only two options, actually. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality, ? Do you agree? Or no, some were too poor for Elvis? And I'm going to start that now, this very second, and you will be able to see that on the screen. And there it is. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality, ? Do you agree with that? Or no, some were just too poor for Elvis? I'd appreciate your honesty on that poll, and yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I'll put my script down there for now, I think. Or will I? No, I better keep it up here because we're going to go to the calls now. And I suppose what I've really got to do is I've got to put myself into the call. And I think what I'll say first of all is hopefully I haven't got myself muted because I'm always doing that. No, I haven't. I haven't got myself muted. I think what I'm going to do is Brent. I'm going to say hi, Brent.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
Everything's going great. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm representing one of the defense teams here today.
Yeah,
And,
I can just see you standing up and saying, "Now, Your Honor."
Yeah, I'm clasping the lapels, of my jacket and
Yes.
pontificating in court. You know what, Steve? I think a lot of people don't really know how to compartmentalize different films. I look at it like dinner. There are some places where you go out for a filet mignon or something fancy, but then sometimes you want to go to a diner or a low-end pub or something and just get greasy, good junk food. And I think there are some movies that are like that. Some are guilty pleasures. They're not going to be Orson Welles' The Third Man. They're not going to be a sophisticated John Cassavetes film. Sometimes you're going for dessert instead of meat and potatoes, and that's the way I look at it. Some of those films are there simply for the pleasure principle, not there to invoke a sense of you reflecting on life or anything like that.
Do you think that the reason why a lot of people have got a poor view of some of Elvis's movies is because of the ones they were showing on the television the whole time? Like they were showing Roustabout and Easy Come, Easy Go and Viva Las Vegas. They weren't showing the Jailhouse Rocks. They weren't showing the King Creoles.
I think so too. Yeah. And I think it's sometimes when someone is so massive, it almost becomes kind of a subconscious sport for a lot of people to shoot that person down. I don't know why we have that instinct in a lot of us, but the minute they do something, there's a case for, yes, it didn't match the higher quality of the earlier films, but I believe there was a guilty pleasure thing with all of those. They're okay. I said that in the your Discord the other day about Paradise Hawaiian Style. It is not Citizen Kane. It never will be. But if you go in with that perception and say, I'm just going to go and have fun watching Elvis, I don't care what the story's about, you'll actually have a good time, I think.
Yeah, I saw you saying on Discord earlier on in the week that you like Paradise Hawaiian Style.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. It's like saying I like a cheap cupcake, okay? It's never going to be loved by food critics, but yet it tastes good. It's kitschy, but yet I lower the bar for that. I don't hold that up next to The Godfather and say, how does this hold up against that? Mm-hmm. Because you can't do that. There's different levels of film. And to be fair, Steve, they were never marketing them as if they were going to be pictures of the year.
No, it was just lighthearted fun, wasn't it?
They were not John Ford picks.
Yeah, exactly.
And they weren't trying to market them that way. And I think if people just go in saying, this is what I know I'm going to get, and you lower that bar, I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah. Very good. Brent, as always, it's a great pleasure. Oh, I better ask you, you voted on the poll, did you?
Yeah, I think everyone has. First of all, if Elvis is in it for 1 minute, it has redeeming value.
Yes, exactly.
They could have had a film about him just ordering from a menu, and guess what? I would own it on DVD.
Well said. Thank you very much. Cheers, Brent.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Yeah, it's always a great call. Brent always makes a great points when he's on the call. And I mean, I've said many times the Spin Out movie, when he's singing the title song and there's all the lovely girls dancing around and everything, but all I can look at is Elvis. That's how magnetic he is. I can't take my eyes off Elvis. Right, so we're going to go and we're going to say hi. Actually, I can see Duncan has actually got himself muted, and I actually want to go to Duncan next. So Duncan, if you want to take yourself off mute, I will actually go to. I'll come back to. I'll come back to Duncan, but I will say Dylan. Actually, hi Dylan, how are you?
Hi Steve.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. I'm in a really good mood tonight.
I wonder why.
Well, just because we're talking Elvis.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
What do you want to say about in the defense? What's your case for the defense for Elvis movies?
All right. First of all, I plead innocent of all charges,
Yes.
and I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So, there you go.
So help me God. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I think the redeeming quality in those later ones was the music.
Yeah. Let's discuss the music for a little while because they weren't all Dating or A Dog's Life.
No.
I think, and You Scratch My Back and Queenie Wahine. I know I'm picking on Paradise Hawaiian Style here, but those are the ones that come to mind. Or Old MacDonald, of course. You know, there were some really, really good movie songs. Even in some of the later movies like Speedway, there were some really, really underrated songs.
I know. Your time hasn't come yet, baby. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
I think, the redeeming quality was the music.
Right.
Because I think what the movie studio realized was that the music was the saving grace of the films.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that the script quality did get a bit poor, but the music saved them. And that's why they made money. Because of Elvis and the music.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted to hear Elvis sing. It was like before the days of MTV. It was the music video of the time, wasn't it? Going and seeing Elvis sing it up on screen was like what we've got now with music videos.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to go down that route, Jailhouse Rock is often considered the first music video, isn't it?
Yeah, and a fantastic job he did as well.
I know. Especially considering that he swallowed his tooth.
Yeah, that's right. His tooth cap.
He did a great job.
And Trouble with King Creole. That was another great performance. There's so many, there is. There was of course we've got to mention Viva Las Vegas, the production numbers in that. Come on everybody. What I Say, brilliant.
Yeah, I think that the movies later on relied heavily on Elvis's star quality and the music. But I did watch Paradise Hawaiian Style, and it's a fun movie.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
We know that you're not gonna get the 10 Commandments. You're not. But that don't matter.
Well, Brent said they weren't marketed for that anyway, so.
Well, yeah. Because that don't matter. What matters is Elvis is on screen having a good time, and that energy is infectious.
And of course, he was good to look at. He had a charisma that when he was up on screen, it was hard to take your eyes off him. If you were a woman, it was definitely hard to take your eyes off him. But even men, he just had that.
There was no one that matched him on that front.
That's right. I agree.
Well, I mean, maybe apart from Anne Margaret, but apart from that, no one matched him on that front.
Jocelyn Lane. Don't forget Jocelyn Lane.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I know. We get it. You've got a heart to Jocelyn Lane. Yeah, we get it.
She was my favorite. I must admit, of all of them, she was.
We know who my favorite though.
Go on.
Well, she's now Sister Dolores Hart.
Oh yeah, I have a soft spot for Dolores as well. I wrote a letter to her and unfortunately,
yeah, but guess what?
They said no.
The hunt has done it again, Steve.
What's that?
I've hunted down some footage for you.
Oh, go on.
Well, no, not footage. It's a photograph.
Okay.
Plus an interview, right? And I think I was telling you about this yesterday.
Is this the Duke Bardwell?
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, to give context to everybody, Duke Bardwell not only was a bass player, is a bass player, but he's a singer and a songwriter. And if you just give me 1 second, Steve.
Okay.
I've got the date of the show.
Yes. Yeah, so we can.
You just give me 1 second. I'm sorry for holding everybody up here.
For people that don't know, Duke Bardwell actually played bass with Elvis on stage when Jerry Sheff left temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 74, 75, wasn't it?
Yep. 74, 75 when Elvis came back. Yeah, Elvis came back. Jerry came back in like May, I think, of 75, I believe.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Where is it? Hang on 1 second. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
See, and I'll see. This is what happens when you hit your 20s. You get. Oh, here we go. October 4th, closing show in White Tahoe.
October the 4th when?
October the 14th.
Oh, 14th. October the 14th, 1974. Where was he?
It looks like Tahoe.
Oh, Tahoe. Okay, Lake Tahoe.
It is.
Right.
It is because he got the Sunlight one. Yeah, it is.
And is there any audio that you know of Duke singing?
There's audio of Duke talking about it.
Oh, right. Okay.
But there's no audio of Duke singing.
Yeah, I was trying to get Duke on the show, but he's not very active on social media or anything like that. And actually, I've just reminded myself saying that when I spoke to Marilyn Mason for the interview I did for this channel, she said she knew Duke and she was going to ask him if he would speak to me, but I don't know whether she ever got around to it or not. So, because Marilyn Mason, who was in The Trouble with Girls, is friendly with Duke.
Yeah,
but I'd love to speak to Duke on the show.
And like in this photograph too, he's playing Elvis's J200.
That's right. Yeah, you in the photograph, for anybody that hasn't seen this, you can see Charlie Hodge holding the microphone. You can see Duke playing Elvis's guitar, and Elvis is just stood off to one side watching him sing the song.
Yeah, and the song is called "Please Don't Bury Me." If anyone wants to.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So the search is on to try and find the audio of that.
Yeah.
All right. Before you go, I'm going to ask you what you voted on the poll.
You know what? It's been so long, I forgot what I voted. Hang on, let's see. What did I vote? Oh, I voted yeah.
You voted agree. They all had at least one redeeming quality.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Great. Talk to you later on. Cheers, matey. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
What a great call. Yes. Duke Bardwell, who played bass for Elvis 74, 75, while Ronnie was the drummer. Jerry Schiff left temporarily. There's a photograph of him singing while Charlie holds the microphone, and Duke plays Elvis's guitar, and Elvis is stood off to one side. And Elvis is wearing the sundial jumpsuit, and people saying, well, that can't be Duke Bardwell because that's 1977. But don't forget, everybody, that he first wore the sundial in 1974. Right, so we will try Duncan again. Hopefully he can hear me this time. Hello, Duncan. How are you?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
There you are, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, it's good to hear you again.
And you.
So, redeeming qualities, the case for the defense with Elvis's movies. What are you going to tell me?
Yes. What I would say is Elvis's movie career made in excess of 30 movies, which was more than many other people did.
Yeah.
What I would say is, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you take someone like James Dean, who was lauded for his acting ability, etc., he made 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And his career was judged on those 3 movies. Movies in which, good actor, but he largely played the same person in most of those 3 movies.
Yeah, the misunderstood youth, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to judge Elvis on, say he made 3 movies, say he made Jailhouse Rock, King Creole and Flaming Star. If those were the 3 movies that you judged Elvis's career on, would the media at large have the same opinion of Elvis's movies and Elvis as an actor?
No, they seem to have seized on the beach movies, haven't they?
Yes, which would suggest that there's an agenda there. Again, he didn't play the Hollywood game.
Yeah.
He wasn't shallow. He wasn't two-faced. He was genuine. He wasn't interested. He didn't even hang out at the Hollywood showbiz parties all the time either. So he wasn't part of that clique, if you like. And I think Hollywood, and they wanted to pigeonhole him in a certain way, and it suited their narrative to focus on the beach movies, to focus on the more formulaic movies. But again, what I would say is each one of those movies, he showed in the dramatic movies the ability he had as an actor. However, in all of the other movies, the movies that some might call more weaker movies or more formulaic movies, he, because of his ability and his charisma, he lifted those scripts above where they would otherwise be.
Yes.
So that leads me to vote in the poll that every movie had a redeeming feature of one kind or another within it.
Yeah. Most people would say the redeeming feature was Elvis. But
Yes.
but you could also say that it was the comedy, or because I always say that Double Trouble was a very funny movie, even though a lot of people don't like it.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Double Trouble is often criticised.
Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
His comedic timing in many of his movies, you see his comedic timing was spot on. His reactions to others, his facial expressions, his physical comedy was very good.
Yeah.
And if you take Double Trouble, yes, we all know we've got Old MacDonald in the back of a flatbed truck. But at the same time, you've got songs like City by Night.
Oh yes,
Which
that's
is a
definitely
very
that's
underrated
definitely a
song.
jewel in the crown, that one, because that's an underrated one as well. City by Night.
Very much so, and you can say that about pretty much any movie. I'm not a great fan of Stay Away Joe. I'll admit that. But again, you've got songs like All I Needed Was the Rain.
A nice
Which is
bluesy
a
number.
quality song.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Brent said earlier that he's he thinks he's sort of an outlier when he says that he likes Paradise Hawaiian Style. But I must admit, I've got a soft spot for Paradise Hawaiian Style as well, and particularly, I mean, it's not a great song now, A Dog's Life, okay, but you can see that he's he's struggling to keep a straight face, and he does burst out laughing a couple of times at the dogs. He
does, and he sells the song, and he relates within the context of how that song is set within the narrative.
Yeah.
He sells it, he reacts, and there's chemistry between him and Donna Butterworth. There's chemistry between, you know what I mean? He works with the dogs that are there.
He does, yeah, I agree.
He's humorous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's great. And again,
so I think he's unfairly criticised.
Yeah, and again, you can't take your eyes off him, because I'm just waiting for him to burst out laughing. Okay. Right. Okay, Duncan.
Yes.
Thanks very much. We just lost you there for a second. That's great. Some really, really great points made there. Thanks very much for calling in. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Great. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Duncan, for that. We will go to this young man as well, known by the name of Vincenzo. Hi, Vincenzo.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Vincenzo, you did well on Flaming Star today, didn't you? You got that one first.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, what's your defense for the Elvis movies?
I like them, actually. They were a lot of fun.
Have you got a favorite Elvis movie?
I like King Creole.
Yeah, well, that was his favorite as well, wasn't it? And it's a lot of fans' favorite as well.
I like the Wake Up too. Change of Habit.
Yes, I was actually watching Change of Habit, or part of it, yesterday, and he looks fantastic, thin as a rake, absolutely brilliant. That sequence at the beginning where he's singing Rubbernecking, he just looks super.
Yeah, and some of those movies had good songs too, like Rubbernecking.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody said they were all silly movies and they were silly songs, but I mean, Duncan mentioned City by Night, and that is a fabulous song,
okay,
even if it wasn't a movie song.
Clean up your own backyard.
Yeah, Clean Up Your Own Backyard, Trouble. Okay. I mean, everybody seems to fixate on the fact that he was singing Old MacDonald, but that's just one song out of hundreds that he recorded for the movies.
Every time I watch his movies, I feel good. They're fun. They're fun movies.
Yeah, they make you smile.
Yeah.
They make you forget about all the troubles in the world and all the things for an hour and a half, especially if you're watching Blue Hawaii or Girls or something like that with the scenery. You forget about all the rubbish in the world and you just look at Elvis.
Yeah.
Job done. All right, Vincenzo, thanks very much.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you. Cheers. Bye. That was Vincenzo. You can, if you want to, still ring on WhatsApp, Instagram, or Messenger if you want. But it looks like we've come to the end of the calls. But I will remind you to vote on that poll. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality? ? Do you agree with me? Or no, some were too poor for Elvis? All right. So we've still got time on that. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to take myself out of the call and I'm going to say we're going to do Elvis history next. This day in Elvis history. Do you like my jingles? Right. So we've got this day in Elvis history. And I start quite early on in the years this week. It's 1952, and there's Elvis's driving license. And I'm not too sure why, but it seems to have got two addresses in there: 185 Winchester and 672 Saffrons. It looks like as well, but it's in quite poor quality. But that's Elvis's first driving license. 1955, we've got Elvis with Scotty and Bill played at the high school auditorium, Marianna, Arkansas. Then we got 1956. In Arkansas, there was also Bud Dickerman, Onnie Wheeler on the bill. Elvis sang "I Got a Woman." There you are. 1956. Yes, what have we got? We've got at 8 p.m. Elvis performed for the last time on the Dorsey Brothers stage show on CBS. Elvis performed Money Honey and his big hit Heartbreak Hotel. Because of Carl Perkins' accident, missing his own TV show appearance, Elvis chose not to perform Blue Suede Shoes. The $185 EP initial ring, which Elvis had bought the week before, was delivered to him by jeweler Benny Kaplan. So that's when Elvis took receipt of that very famous EP ring. Right, and there's the photographs from 1956. Now, of course, 1958, on this day, 1958, accompanied by his parents, Anita Wood, Judy Spreckles, and assorted pals, Elvis reported to the draft board at 6:35 a.m. He'd stayed up the whole night. He couldn't sleep. He wanted to make the most of his last night as a free man. I suppose you could say that. They went roller skating, and I think they went to the movies as well. He was assigned serial number 53310761, and his starting pay was $78 a month. Wow. Elvis said, "There's not much difference between this and making a movie," he said. "In Hollywood, you have to get up at 5 a.m. and be on set at 6. The only difference here is that you don't have a limousine." As you can see from these photographs, Vernon and Gladys were absolutely devastated to be losing Elvis. Elvis was putting a brave face on it, but I'm pretty sure that he was pretty devastated as well to be losing his career. In fact, he was quoted as saying that at the time he thought that that's it, it's all over. I'll have nothing to come back to. So that was on this day in 1958. 1959, we've got military service, of course, but we've got dealer orders for his latest stateside RCA Victor release, A Fool Such As I, coupled with I Need Your Love Tonight, had just gone over 1 million. It was Elvis's 20th consecutive gold record. Now and Then, There's a Fool Such as I, recorded by Hank Snow, for whom it peaked at number 4 on the country charts as early as 1953. Elvis's version reached number 1 in the UK and number 2 on the pop and R&B, and number 16 in the United States. It became a platinum record in 1959 later on. Elvis's quote, "I have no way of telling if my fame is fading." Elvis admitted in March 1959, "I stay homesick all the time. I give my neck to be back. You just don't know. I hope the folks back home haven't forgotten me." That was what he was worrying about on this day in March 1959. He'd been in the services 12 months. And we know that Elvis, we didn't forget you. And we still haven't forgotten you. After all these years, 40 odd years after you passed away, we still haven't forgotten you. And I won't. So 1960, yes. 1960, Elvis was in Miami for the Timex Presents Frank Sinatra Welcome Home Elvis TV special. And there he is, looking very, very swish in his jacket and his hat. And there's rehearsals with Frank. How cool does he look there? Yeah, that's a nice photo. That's a very, very nice photo. Okay, 1964, we've got Roustabout. 65, Hear 'em Scare 'em. 66, Spin Out. Clam Bake production in 67. 68, Live a Little, Love a Little. 1969, Change of Habit. And in this day in 1975, Elvis did dinner and midnight Vegas shows at the Hilton. And in 1977, excuse me, I had a hiccup there. We had Elvis performed on tour in Amarillo, Texas. And as you can see, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Arabian suit. Although I'm not 100% sure. They're quite small pictures, but I'm going to go for the Arabian. I stand to be corrected. So that was this day in Elvis history. Big, big day in Elvis history, with it being 1958. And he was drafted into the army. And he thought it was all over. And in 1959, he thought he was forgotten. If only you knew, Elvis. Right. There's still time to vote on the poll. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality. Do you agree with that? Or no, some were too poor for Elvis? I'll be interested, but I think I know which way it's going to go. I really do know which way it's going to go. You can still ring me if you wish. You can ring me on WhatsApp, or you can ring me on Instagram and Facebook Messenger. Now, we're going to do the next item in line, and it's a song I wish Elvis had recorded. You can send in ideas for the show, such as underrated songs, photoshops, smoking hot photos. We love those. Yes, ladies, we love those. Songs you wish Elvis had sung live, or songs you wish he'd recorded. Funny caption photos, if you want to send those to me as well. Or you can suggest a topic for discussion on the show. Email your suggestions to elvistheultimatefanchannel@gmail.com, or you can send it to me the other ways as well if you want. I know a lot of you have got me on your social media platforms. Now, we are going to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded, and it's suggested by Susan Swartz, who is better known as Elvis Memories on Discord, and I'll tell you about the Discord channel in a second. But basically, the one that she's picked is What the World Needs Now, and it's this one by Jackie DeShannon. And it's a 1965 song. Lyrics are by Hal David and music composed by Burt Bacharach. And as I just told you, first recorded and made popular by Jackie DeShannon. The song's success caught the two songwriters completely by surprise, since they were very aware of the controversy and disagreements among Americans about the Vietnam War, which was the subtext for David's lyrics. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a love song. Bacharach continuously used the song as the intro and final for most of his live concert appearances well into the 2000s. The song was originally offered to singer Dionne Warwick, who turned it down at the time, saying she felt it was too country. Don't think it was too country for her tastes and too preachy, though she later recorded it for her album Here Where There Is Love. DeShannon's version was recorded on March 23rd. And today is 24th. 1965 at New York's Bell Sound Studios. Bacharach arranged, conducted, and produced the session. It was released on April 15th, 1965 on the Imperial label after a release on sister label Liberty Records the previous month was cancelled. It peaked at number 7 on the US Hot 100. In July of that year in Canada, the song reached number 1. Susan says she wished Elvis had recorded it. What do you think? So there you are. And if you're not familiar with the song, but I'm sure you are, I'll leave a link below this video to that song. What the world needs now is love. Sweet love. Right, and I was going to tell you, I ask you this every week, just in case you haven't done it, if you're new to this channel, if you can subscribe and click the bell, turn it black so that you are notified of all videos and live shows. And this is the Discord server that we use, and there is a link below this video for the Discord server for an invite, and there's Elvis chat, Elvis pick of the day. As you can see there, we post our favorite pick and then people vote on it. And of course there's Elvis chat. Here we go, Elvis chat, where we talk all about our favorite subject. There's an off topic as well, which is for people that want to talk to each other but not about Elvis. Of course, there are times when you just don't want to talk about Elvis, you just want to talk about other things. That's fine. Use the off-topic thread. And as I say, you can get an invite to that channel below. What are we going to do next? We are going to do Photoshop, and Photoshop is this one. Ah, yes. Fake Elvis and Priscilla. They are photoshopped into the bodies of Natalie Wood and Warren Beatty. Absolutely terrible. Again, another terrible Photoshop. So it's Natalie Wood and Warren Beatty, and they've put Priscilla and Elvis's head on their bodies. So that's this week's Photoshop. And if you want to send in Photoshops, you can. Just send me the original and send me the Photoshopped, and we'll take it from there. There's still time. I haven't closed it off yet. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality. Do you agree? Or no, some were just too poor for Elvis. I'm going to do, what am I going to do next? I'm going to do underrated song. Yes, underrated song. And no, I'm not. I wish Elvis had sung this song live first. Yes. And it's me. I've chosen this. I wish he'd sung this song live. I adore this song. And you're going to, a lot of you, when I mention this song, you're going to say, oh, yes, Steve, we do. We know you. Milky White Way is a gospel standard written by Lander Coleman, who was a quartet singer for the Coleman Brothers. The song became a million-selling hit in 1947 when the CBS Trumpeteers and a black quartet from Baltimore recorded it. In the late 1940s, the CBS Trumpeteers had a popular morning radio show over the CBS network called 7:15 a.m., and Milky White Way was their theme song. Elvis recorded a version on October 30th, 1960 at RCA Studio B in Nashville, Tennessee. In fact, it was the first song he recorded at this marathon session that began at 6:30 p.m. and concluded at 8 a.m. the following morning. During the intervening period, Elvis and the musicians completed 14 masters, enough to complete the religious album His Hand in Mine, a single A-side with the song Surrender, using Lonely Man as the B-side, plus Crying in the Chapel that was left unreleased until 1965. Now that's a phenomenal achievement, I believe, anyway. I think firing off all those masters, 14 masters, between 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m., when you consider that a lot of artists now take months and months and months to record an album, and yet he fired all that off in the space of, 14 hours? So, yeah, unbelievable. Milky White Way, you've got 7 takes. You've got take 1, which was a false start. Take 2, which was a false start. Take 3 is complete. 4 false start, take 5 complete, 6 is a false start, 7 was a false start, and the master. That was the one that was used for release. And I actually, I like the outtake that is on this particular CD, Fame and Fortune. I think it might be take 5, or it could be take 3. It's one of the complete ones that wasn't issued. So it's either take 3 or take 5. I can't remember exactly now. It could be take 5, but I like it. It's a little bit slower, I think, than the released version. So that's the song that I wish Elvis had sung live, and I could just see him sitting down at the piano and singing this, and JD and the Stamps and the Sweets just backing him up on that. I absolutely adore Milky White Way, and as I said, a lot of you will probably know that if you're a regular listener to this channel. Let's do Elvis Mug of the Week. This is the one I wanted to show you. My boss went to Vegas on business about 10 years ago, and I says, try and get me something Elvis, could you, if you can, and bring it back, and I'll pay you. He wouldn't take any money off me in the end, but he got me this. He got me this mug. Fabulous Las Vegas, Elvis. So there you are. That's Elvis Mug of the Week. We have a caller. Let's have a look. Hello.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Hey, it's Salam.
I'm a little late today, but I had to get my call in.
Great. Listen, it's never too late.
Yes, I have to say, for the poll, it upset me a little bit, Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, as long as Elvis graces us with his beauty, with his hair, with his voice, with his face, it's all redeemed.
Yeah.
It's all redeemed. We can only be so lucky, Steve.
A lot of people actually say that. I say, the fact that Elvis is up there on screen is enough.
I don't care what he's doing. Singing Ronald McDonald, skipping, jump. I don't care what he's doing. If I can just view him, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And hear him and see his smile, as cheesy as the movies were and as horrible, and I'm sure he was miserable. That's probably the only thing I would, think twice about, because I know he was unhappy. But just seeing him smile makes the whole hour and a half worth it, or however long the movie is.
It really is, what's the word I'm thinking of, to his lasting credit, that even when he was singing something like Old MacDonald, he still looked like he was having a good time and enjoying himself.
Oh, he was just a treat for the eyes, for the ears. Just the ultimate talent, the ultimate entertainer. No matter what he did, there was always something drawing you in. no matter the setting, no matter the context. And that's Elvis, right? Like only Elvis can make those movies and still people are enjoying them. Only Elvis, no other actor,
Well, this is it. I mean, a lot of people said, without Elvis, if somebody else had have done Double Trouble, or somebody else had have done, Viva Las Vegas, he just would have sunk without like a stone, without trace.
He was the star power. It was him. The movie, he was the movie. And it's interesting because I don't know I forgot who mentioned it earlier about James Dean. He made the 3 movies. I mean, I wonder if Elvis stopped at the 3, I think his reputation in Hollywood would have stayed pretty good. But as we know, Colonel Tom Parker, he just, it's wherever the money's at, sadly. And I think maybe if he even stopped at Blue Hawaii might have been good. Because he had a couple good ones before Blue Hawaii. So it's unfortunate, but honestly, he's so entertaining no matter what he does.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the saddest things I ever heard Elvis say was, he says, I know that Hollywood are laughing at me and they think I'm a joke. And I think that's just a sad thing to hear.
It's very sad. And his charisma and him being Elvis was like a double-edged sword. It was because he was Elvis, these movies were able to float and make money. And it was like, if he wasn't Elvis, they would have, like you said, they would have been long gone, disappeared. Nobody would have looked at them. And then he would have never got an offer again to do such a terrible film. It would have just been brushed under the rug and never to be spoken about again. But because he was Elvis and he was able to make revenue, so his own charisma was a curse. His own beauty was a curse. His own talent was a curse.
Yeah.
Because it's just, they knew whatever we slap Elvis on, it's gonna sell.
Well, Hal Wallace,
that man.
I've said it before. Hal Wallace said there's only one sure thing in Hollywood at the moment, and that's an Elvis Presley movie. So,
and even if there's one sure show, if there's one sure documentary, if there's one sure film, if there's one sure song, if Elvis did it, it's guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed success.
Yeah.
And I think that hurt him too, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Steve.
Sweetheart, it's lovely to hear from you. Thanks so much for calling in. We missed your calls. Right. We really did.
I know. It's because I'm always going out and about. And today's kind of a rainy day. I said, today, finally, I can join the show.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad it's raining.
Exactly.
Cheers, Salam.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Yes, I know what Salam means. I know why she was. Yeah, she was a little bit annoyed, but in a nice way, because the fact that Elvis is in it is enough. Yes. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, I kind of showed this, but I'll just show it again for anybody that didn't see. This is my Elvis mug of the week, fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and yeah. My boss got me that when he went to Vegas. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Vegas yet. I'm hoping I'll make it one day. You never know. Just as I was hoping I'll make it to Hawaii. Now, yes, still time to vote on the every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality, ? Agree, no, some were too poor for Elvis. I'll leave that open a little bit longer. And I've just done the I Wish Elvis Had Sung Live, and I chose it. It was Milky White Way. Now, let's do Caption the Photo. Yeah. I just love those. I'm going to do it again. Caption the photo. It's the ba-dum-bum at the end I like. Right, yes, this was the caption. And it was taken from Blue Hawaii. Again, a movie theme. Yes, it's very movie themed, this show tonight, isn't it? And he's in his white shorts, and he gets a lot of admirers in those white shorts. And I asked you to send in a caption for this photo. And I've picked some of the ones that did quite well. If I reach far enough, I can touch the man in the sky. I like that. Take my hand, take my whole life too. You see, I lift my left arm up and then my right arm is like this here. It just kind of prevents these shorts from chaffing my inner thighs. Somebody else says, I like to keep the Colonel at arm's length if I can. But the winner, and a drum roll. With 27 likes. Well done, Simon Laxon. Yes, hi Simon. And it is very simply, take my hand, precious Lord. So we really got to sort of give Simon a round of applause. And thanks to everybody that left their caption. I will actually try and read out a few more next week. I only just picked 3 or 4 this week, but I will try and pick out a few more maybe next week. And I've got another one lined up for next week. I'll post it probably on Tuesday on the community tab on the YouTube channel. So that's this. Now, I wanted to do the underrated Elvis song. Again, if you want to send in your own idea of what you think is an underrated song, please do. And this one is picked by Don McLennan. Hi, Don. Thanks for sending this in. And it's this one. It's My Baby Left Me, is a rhythm and blues song written by blues singer Arthur Big Boy Crudup. The song was first recorded by Crudup in Chicago on November 8th, 1950, with Ransom Knowling on bass, Judge Riley on drums, and was released as a single on RCA Victor. Yes, the same RCA Victor that Elvis signed for. It gained further exposure when Elvis recorded it and put his version on the B-side to his 1956 single, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. It was released on May 4th, 1956, becoming his second #1 single on the country music charts and peaking at number 3 on the US Billboard Top 100 chart, an earlier version of the US Billboard Hot 100. Don, who suggested the song to me, said, My Baby Left Me is generally forgotten about because of That's Alright Mama. Gets all the limelight, but it has always been one of my top favourites. I also think that he would have done a good job of this live with the very prominent bass and drums. He could have really moved to this one. Well, as we know, he did sing it live quite a few times and made a real good job of it too. And there are actually audio recordings on YouTube of him singing My Baby Left Me. And there's quite a good version actually on the March 20th, 1974 Elvis has recorded live on stage in Memphis. So check that out, Don, if you haven't checked that one out yet. It's worth listening to. What do you think about My Baby Left Me? Is it an underrated Elvis song? Leave your comments in the comment section below this video. So let's move on and say that I wish Elvis had sung this song live. No. I've done that, you stupid boy. Oh, yeah. I thought I'd gone back in time then for a minute. We're going to close the poll. I'm not going to do that all over again. And see what the outcome is. I'd be interested to see. Oh, now that's got more votes than I thought. Every Elvis movie had a redeeming quality. Agree 58%, but no, some were too poor for Elvis, 42%. Right. That surprised me, actually. I thought there would be an awful lot more for the agree. And I didn't think there'd be like 41, 42% for no, some were too poor for Elvis. Thank you very, very much for everybody that voted on that. And yeah. if I had to vote, I would vote agree. Every Elvis movie had at least one redeeming quality. Aside from Elvis, obviously, aside from having Elvis starring in it and being on the screen and just looking fabulous, and men and women not being able to take their eyes off him, but they had other redeeming qualities as well. Like there was at least one good song in every movie, at least one good song. I mean, but when you go for King Creole and things like that, there was loads of good songs. Viva Las Vegas, lots of good songs. But even in, say, I'm sorry, Brent, Paradise Hawaiian Style, there's still one good song in Paradise Hawaiian Style. There's still one good song, at least, in Easy Come, Easy Go. So those were the redeeming qualities outside of Elvis starring in the movie. So we've also got to do Smoking Hot Photo of the Week. Ta-da! Oh yes, we have to do Smoking Hot. And as I said to you earlier, I've forgotten what the Smoking Hot photo was because I picked it quite early on in the week. So I'm going to have as much a surprise as you are when I show you this. Ah, yes. Doesn't he look absolutely fabulous in those two pieces? Really, really fabulous. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I grabbed that from the Discord channel, Elvis Picture of the Day or Photo of the Day. So, yes, girls, yes. So what is everybody saying? Susan S. says, beautiful suit. Jenny O'Connell says, wow. Rebel Vegan says, perfection. Yes. The belt. Yes, the belt. And there's loads of hearts as well. Help, I've fallen and can't get up. I hope you're joking, Nancy. I hope you haven't really fallen. Cold shower time. Yes, definitely. Beanie. Yeah. You know, in some ways, I like that outfit more than quite a few of the jumpsuits. The middle of the 70s, 75, 76, I think they got a little bit too gearish, a little bit too gaudy for me. So I actually like that suit more than some of the jumpsuits. But of course, don't get me wrong, I loved a lot of the jumpsuits as well. And as you probably know, I like some of the simpler jumpsuits. And of course, my overall favorite is the peacock. Now, we've done the poll. So thanks very, very much to everybody that's joined me again tonight. And if you're watching on catch up, as I say, play along with the quiz and have a little bit of fun. And yeah. And as I say, next week, we're actually back to the normal times again for the US. So just watch out for that. I'll be an hour earlier than I was this today. Thanks to Dave for helping out on the moderation. I'm much grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Thanks to everybody that joined in the show. And until next week, Al, you have to tell us.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.